On a stormy night, Sarah found herself alone in her secluded home while her husband was away on a business trip. As the rain lashed against the windows and the wind howled outside, Sarah tried to distract herself with a book, but every creak of the house sent shivers down her spine, and an unshakable feeling of unease settled in the pit of her stomach. Sarah's heart skipped a beat as she cautiously approached, peering through the peephole to see a stranger standing outside, pleading for shelter from the storm. Despite her instincts warning her of danger, Sarah reluctantly let the man inside, offering him a blanket in the foyer. However, her relief quickly turned to terror when she noticed the man's eyes had turned black, his smile stretching impossibly wide. Before she could react, he revealed his true monstrous form and lunged at her with malicious intent, sending Sarah's screams echoing through the house. In that moment, she realized the true horror of being alone on a rainy night, where even the familiar can become a nightmare. As Sarah's screams pierced the air, she stumbled backward, her heart racing with primal fear. The stranger's grotesque features twisted into a sinister grin, his eyes gleaming with malevolence. In a desperate attempt to escape, Sarah bolted towards the safety of her living room, her mind racing with panicked thoughts. But with each step, the darkness seemed to close in around her, suffocating her with its suffocating embrace. The storm outside raged on, its fury mirroring the terror that consumed Sarah's soul. Every shadow seemed to conceal lurking horrors, every creak of the house a harbinger of impending doom. As she reached the sanctuary of her living room, Sarah's trembling hands fumbled for the nearest phone, praying for salvation in the form of a dial tone. But as she lifted the receiver to her ear, a sickening realization washed over her. The power outage had rendered the phone useless. Trapped in a house besieged by both the elements and unspeakable evil, Sarah's only hope lay in summoning the courage to confront the nightmare that had invaded her home. Inevitable confrontation, her resolve bolstered by sheer survival instinct. As the sound of approaching footsteps echoed ominously through the darkness, she braced herself for whatever horrors awaited her, knowing that she alone stood between salvation and unspeakable terror. Fateful night, in the solitude of her home, Sarah would face a darkness beyond comprehension, where the line between reality and nightmare blurred into oblivion. And as the storm raged on outside, its fury a testament to the chaos that reigned within, Sarah's fate hung in the balance, her screams lost in the howling. In the eerie silence of her empty home, Lily felt a creeping sense of unease settle over her. Every creak of the floorboards and rustle of the curtains seemed amplified, sending shivers down her spine. As she ventured upstairs, the darkness seemed to press in around her, suffocating her with its oppressive weight. When she discovered the open window in the dimly lit bedroom, her pulse quickened with fear. But it was the reflection in the mirror that truly chilled her to the bone. A shadowy figure lurking just behind her, its presence sinister and undeniable. With each passing moment, Lily's sense of isolation grew, her attempts to reach out for help thwarted by the silence of her phone. And when the disembodied voice called out her name from the depths of the kitchen, it was the final straw, sending her fleeing in terror, her heart racing as she grappled with the realization that she was not alone in her own home. As Lily's panic escalated, the once familiar surroundings of her home turned into a labyrinth of terror. Every shadow seemed to conceal lurking horrors, and every sound echoed with ominous intent. With trembling hands, she clutched onto the banister, her knuckles turning white as she descended the stairs. But as she reached the bottom, a sinister laughter reverberated through the air, freezing her in her tracks. Her mind raced with fear, desperately seeking an escape from the nightmare closing in around her. With tears streaming down her face, Lily's instincts kicked in, propelling her forward in a frantic bid for survival. She dashed through the hallways, her breath coming in ragged gasps as she sought refuge from the unseen menace haunting her every step. But no matter where she turned, the darkness seemed to follow, swallowing her whole in its suffocating embrace. And as she stumbled blindly through the oppressive gloom, a chilling realization dawned upon her. There was no escape from the horrors that lurked within the confines of her own home.